The big story in the Big 12 this weekend was the Holy War. BYU comes back to knock off Utah in dramatic fashion, keep the undefeated season alive at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Boy, was it everywhere. After dark, it was 1 a.m. I'm watching this one after the rewatch of the Baylor basketball game. It was incredible. But obviously what people are going to be talking about is the 4th and 10. First off, quick recap. BYU is 4th and 10 inside their own, 5-10 yard line. And like in the middle of the play, Retzlaff is rolling out and he just kind of throws the ball in the turf. Everyone's like, what's happening? Rice-Eccles was so loud that nobody could hear Kalani Sitake call a timeout before that play. So let's do 4th and 10 again. They don't get it again, but the flag comes out. Defensive holding, automatic first down. Cougs go right down the field after that and kick the game-winning field goal to win it 22-21. And it was a tough scene in Salt Lake after that. Kyle Whittingham berating the officials after the game, throwing a chair at the end of the press conference. But it was Mark Harlan, the Utah AD, that made the headlines by saying this.
I've been an athletic director for 12 years. This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight. Thank you.
Mark Harlan is disgusted with Big 12 officials. He didn't want to be in this conference anymore. And I thought it was really unfair that the Big 12 officials made sure that Utah did not score a point in the second half. And I think it's really doubly unfair that the Big 12 officials did not stop BYU after that first down and get them all the way into field goal range and win the game. I think that's really unfair to Utah. Part of me is big boo-hoo on this, Mark. Okay? Like, really. You guys did not score a point in the second half. That's not the officials' fault. And looking at it on replay, Brock Osweiler loved the call. I don't love the call. I don't think it's a great call, to be totally honest with you, especially at that point in the game. But you don't want to be in the Big 12? Love it or leave it, brother. We gave you a life raft to come to this conference. Your conference? You want to go back to that? You want to go back to the Pac-12? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. And that's going to cost Mark Harlan some money today because apparently he did talk to Brett Yormark and it did not go well. Did not go well whatsoever. In fact, it did not go well to the tune of a $40,000 fine. Whew. How about this from Yormark? Mark's comments irresponsibly challenged the professionalism of our officials and the integrity of the Big 12 conference. There is a right way and a wrong way to voice concerns. Unfortunately, Mark chose the wrong way. Accordingly, this violation warrants a public reprimand and financial penalty. The Big 12 Conference prioritizes professionalism, integrity, and fairness, and will continue to do so. And he has been issued a $40,000 fine. That's coming from a press release right from Brett Yormark's office at the Big 12. Part of me is the one saying, boo-hoo, dude. You win some, you lose some. It was probably not a great call, but you didn't score a point in the second half. You let them back into the game. But part of me also remembers how this links back to Baylor and Mack Rhoades in a different sport, Big 12 basketball officials, some 9 months ago when Baylor took on Iowa State and that guy whose name I can't even remember tossed out Scott Drew, and the game completely tipped in Iowa State's favor, and every call started going Iowa State's way, and it led to a Cyclones 20-0 run in which 13 of those 20 points came from the free throw line. But that was probably just a coincidence. Or was it? Because after that game, Mack Rhoades, the Baylor AD, he wanted to talk to the media in the press conference as well.
For those of you that don't know, I'm not somebody that calls the officials or calls the league after every game. In fact, I never call when it comes to officiating. It's always about, hey, We need to play better. We need to execute better. We need to play tougher, all of those things. But tonight was an embarrassment for this league. Period. Scott said it. We have the best basketball league in the country. And the officiating tonight did not match up. Period. End of story. This league needs to get better when we think about our officiating. And we have some great officials. But this particular crew tonight did not match the level of this game. And that shouldn't happen in this league.
Sometimes you need to do it. Sometimes you need to talk about it. I thought Mack's approach was a little bit more measured. And that's probably why he only got a $25,000 fine rather than a $40,000. He didn't say he wanted to leave this conference, that he wasn't excited to be in this conference anymore because we like the Big 12. But a lot of the sentiment is still there. And what it makes me think of is a play in the Baylor TCU game last week. You guys might remember this. Baylor was down at the goal line. We'll do a quick recap again. They got to the 1. They got called for a false start, which they thought might have been something on TCU. The Baylor sidelines thought. False start backs him up to the 6. Then, as Baylor's running a trick play, the flag is thrown again as the ball is being snapped. And the flag is being thrown for the officials to get on the microphone and clarify to anyone who will listen the fact that they called a false start on the play before. Yeah, we already knew that. We already heard it. In fact, we were running another play. And so then Baylor gets up to the line again, shows their formation again on a goal line play. Another flag gets thrown as the ball is being snapped. Then they want to go and review the first play. That was actually 2 plays before. And they reviewed it and called a penalty on TCU for having too many men on the field. What are we doing? I said it at the time, even in a Baylor win. What are we doing? That is officiating incompetence. It truly, truly was. So every conference wants to say that their officials are worse than the others. It's like squirrels on your college campus. Everyone's got squirrels on your campus. They're not special. All the conferences have officiating that can be better. You're not special. But I'll come back to this. The officials did not stop BYU on that final drive. They did not score any points for Utah in the second half. Utah lost the game. They lost. And if it's because of that you don't want to be in this Big 12 anymore, don't let it hit you on the way out. Bye-bye. We don't need you. We'll keep the other school from Utah in here, okay? Because Mark Harlan sounded like a ton of Utah fans that felt they were above this conference. And they were supposed to win this conference this year. And now they're in free fall, and it's the officials' fault. $40,000 out of the bank account. And if you want to leave, go right ahead. I don't think Brett Yormark's going to stop him at this point, personally. But all that to say, there is some incompetencies in the officiating in this conference. And Utah fans will be taking a victory lap at some point because it will happen to BYU at some point too. And you hope it doesn't cost you a game. Like it against TCU, Baylor had 2 goal line plays and formations essentially on tape, greatly giving an advantage to the defense. And in that case, TCU. It did not come back to bite them in terms of losing the game, but we all see it. And you're going to get it if you play in the Mountain West or if you play in the Pac-12, because those are your other options. AAC, you'll get it there too. So I don't want to hear it because we all go through it. And that's not the reason you lost the game. End of story. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network part of your daily routine. We have got you covered with the most Baylor Bears athletics coverage of any outlet that's not directly tied into Baylor University. So if you want more of that, be sure to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell to get notified every time we're dropping a video here on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, and sick 'em.